Welcome to VLearn Virtual Learning Network. This is session number 2 of Personnel Administration and the topic is Functions and Significance of Personnel Administration. Topics to be covered are functions of personnel administration, that is manpower planning, recruitment, training and promotion, salary structure, employees welfare, significance of personnel administration. Now come to the first topic, that is function of personnel administration. Some of the important functions of personnel administrations are manpower planning, recruitment, training, promotion, salary structure and employees welfare. Now, manpower planning. Before the formal process of selecting the personnel begins, an organization has to make an assessment for its requirements in terms of number of personnel needed for a job, defining of a job, the skills and specialization it entails, the duration for which personnel are required, nature of work, etc. Manpower planning is engaged with these type of activities. Organizations, whether large or small, whether public or with private, are in constant need of manpower. They require men and women for different level of position for performing different kinds of jobs at different places and intervals. The number of personnel with defined skills and specialization needed at different periodic intervals have to be forecasted. Manpower planning predicts the number of personnel as organization will have to hire, train and promote in a given period. Manpower planning makes long-range estimates of the general and specific manpower needs of the organization for different activities. By anticipating the needs for various types of skill requirements and levels of personnel well in advance, a manpower plan is able to give adequate lead time for recruitment, selecting of training of such personnel. It controls delays and is a very effective device to develop the required resources from which needed personnel can be made available. The objectives of manpower planning are to ensure optimum use of human resource currently employed, to assess or forecast future skill requirements if the organization's overall objectives are to be achieved, to provide control measures to ensure that necessary resources are available as and when required, to determine recruitment level, to anticipate the weakness of organizational procedures and avoid uncertainty dismissals, to determine training levels, to provide a basis for management, and the last one is to assess future accommodation requirement. Manpower planning can only be effective if goals are explicitly laid down. Manpower planning has to determine the quality and quantity of personnel needed for a specific job. The method used for this purpose are job analysis, job description, job specification, workload analysis and workforce analysis. Without effective manpower planning, the other functions of personnel administration with recruitment, placement, training, promotion, welfare of employees, etc. cannot be performed properly. Recruitment. Once the determination of manpower needed has been made, the recruitment and selection processes can begin. Recruitment is the process of searching for prospective workers and stimulating them to apply for the jobs in the organization. It is a positive function which aims at increasing the selection ratios, that is the number of applicants per job opening. In contrast, application, the selection process is a negative function because it attempts to eliminate applicants, leaving only the best to be absorbed in the organization. Recruitment determines the tone and caliber of the service, whether public or private. A faulty recruitment policy inflicts a permanent weakness upon the administration. Not even an effective training policy can make faultily required persons bright and efficient. The basic element of a sound recruitment policy include discovery and cultivation of the employment markets for posts in the organization, use of attractive recruitment literature and publicity, use of scientific tests for determining abilities of the candidates, tapping capable candidates from within the organization. Recruitment implies matching the personal characteristics for potential employees with the job requirements. The source of recruitment can be broadly classified into two categories. First one is internal and second one is external. Internal sources refers to the present working force of organization. The major weakness of this source is that it may deprive the organization of a fresh outlook, originality and initiative. External source refers to the methods adopted by the organization to attract people from outside the organization through a assessment of their qualifications, skills and potential. An organization cannot fill its vacancies from one single source only. It must carefully combine some of these services, weighting their cost and flexibility, the quality of personnel they supply and their effect on the present workforce. A planned recruitment program provides the organization with job applicants from whom a required number of selections are made. There is no standard selection procedure for recruitment. The final step in the selection process is that of inducting the new employees into the new social setting of his or her work. This is done by familiarizing the employees with the new surroundings and the rules and regulations of the organization. Various training methods are used to upgrade the skills of the new recruits and integrate their goals with the organizational goals. Training. Training is a well articulated efforts to provide for increased competence in the service by imparting professional knowledge, broader vision and correct pattern of behavior, habits and aptitudes. It should be a continuous process in response to continuously felt need. Training helps the entrant by inculcating occupational skills and knowledge, by making him/her familiar with objectives of the organization and his/her potential contribution in the furtherance of department's or organizational goal. The deficiencies of the new appointees may be corrected by imparting them necessary training. Training helps broaden the vision and outlook of the appointees. It equips those already in the service for higher positions and greater responsibilities. It enhances the efficiency of the employees and helps build integrity and morale of the employees. Training can be informal or formal. Informal training is training by doing the work and learning from mistakes. The ultimate success of informal training depends upon the experience and seniority of the senior officers and his/her interest in the new entrant. The aim of formal training is to inculcate administrative skills in the personnel through well-defined courses. The basic aim of training are always inculcating fresh knowledge among the employees, upgrading their skills, familiarizing the inducts to the organization, its environment, work conditions, rules, norms and goals, attuning the employees to the new needs of the organization. Next is promotion. The word promote is derived from the Latin expression promo over. It means to move forward. Promotion means advancement of an employee to a job better than the present one in terms of greater responsibilities, more prestige or status, greater skills and increase in pay. The sound policy of promotion fosters a feeling of belongingness in the personnel, contributes towards the continuity in policies and practices and lead to building up of traditions and conventions in the organization. According to W.S. Willoughby, a sound promotion system should fulfill the following condition: adoption of standard specifications setting forth duties and qualifications required for promotion in the government service. The classification of these positions into district classes, series, grades and services. The inclusion within the classification of a A11, the higher administrative position, expect those having a political character. The adoption as far as possible of the principle of recruitment from within for filling TRP of higher post, TRP of higher post. There are two principles which are used in the system of promotion, principle of seniority and the second one is principle of merit. Principle of seniority is an age-old principle. Employers attach great importance to the length of service. According to H. Feiner, it is automatic and avoids the need for making individual distinctions between one person and another, of placing the young over the old, of measuring the responsibility for the result of promotion. In order to determine the merit of employees, a scientific system of performance appraisal needs to be developed. It should be made as objective as possible. The appraisal should be of regular and continuous nature and should evaluate the quality, quantity and styles of performance. It should include also an appraisal of the growth potential of an employee. Salary structure. Development of a sound salary system is an important function of personnel administration. Salary has to be structured in such a way that the employee of the organization feel adequately rewarded and resources available to the organization are optimally utilized. Salary structure. Following are the requirements for the development of sound pay system. The pay structure should be simple and rational. The pay of post should be related to duties and responsibilities attached to the post. It should take into consideration the qualification and experience prescribed. Comprehensibility or adequacy and are the standard task of the sound pay structure. Good compensation plans, well administered, have a salutary effect on the entire organization. Employees are happier in their work. Cooperation and loyalty are higher. Productive output is up and quality is better. Welfare of employees is one of the most important functions of personnel administration. A good personnel system always gives topmost priority to the well-being of employees. A sound personnel policy, proper recruitment and promotion techniques, conducive training methods, etc. create a certain physical and mental condition of the employees so necessary for good performance. These conditions need to be maintained as well. Employees benefit program create and stimulate morale which contributes to the creation and maintenance of favorable attitude towards work and work environment. These programs include fringe benefits such as holidays, different types of leave entitlement, education facilities, canteen facilities, leave, travel, fare concessions, etc. The proper retirement scheme is also very essential for employees' welfare. Proper retirement benefits attract talented persons to the organization. They help the system of promotion. Through these benefits, efficiency of employees increases. Besides pension, some other benefits such as allowance to take care of inflation, medical facilities, provident funds, family pensions, travel concessions are also provided to the retirement employees. Employees' welfare. Redressal of employees' grievances is yet another important aspect of employees' welfare programs. The interests of the employees and the employer should not be in conflict. The organization has to provide to its employees effective leadership. It has to generate the will to work among the employees. Now, significance of personnel administration. The quality of an organization is dependent on the quality of its employees. Then is the personnel its employees. Among the three components required for development task, personnel's money and material, it is the personnel of the human element which determines the quality and quantity of performance and output. Even the contribution of money and material to performance depends subsequently upon their manipulations by the human beings in an organization. Walter R. remarked, good administration is a composite of effective organization, adequate material facilities, and qualified personals. Even poorly devised machinery may be made to work if it is manned with well-trained, intelligent, imaginative, and devoted staff. As per Farrell Hardy, the importance of administration is among universally recognized amongst commentators on development. Without efficient bureaucracy, the government can never make its plan and policies a success. The ARC has observed that the present personnel system does not make for the rational and optimum utilization of human resources within the civil service to the best advantage of administration as well as the community. During the last 40 years, the country has taken up past developmental responsibilities, and this calls for an effective personnel system in order to formulate and carry out organizational functions. Now there are some questions on the basis of this session. First one is, what do you mean by manpower planning? And highlight the significance of personnel administration. Thank you. That's all for this session. Happy learning, we learning.